In the past, here on my YouTube channel, I've done a few different videos on some ships, and making those videos, I've found that I've got some viewers that are interested in seeing the ships. And that's what we're going to be doing again today, except today's video is going to be a little bit different than the ones I did in the past. First of all, let's talk about the ship we're looking at here and the subject of today's video. The videos that I've done in the past is where I would get on a ship, specifically a ferry, and I would tour around the ship, showing the ship in the video and going over some of the different electrical and life safety systems and just a general tour of what the ship looked like. And all of those videos so far had been on BC Ferry's vessels. Those ships that I had made the videos of were the Coastal class, the Spirit class, the Salish class, as well as the Sea class. But this ferry today is something entirely different. This is operated by a completely different company. The previous ships that I've done videos on were operated by BC Ferries, but this ferry here is the MV Coho, which is operated by the Blackball Ferry Line. The ferry runs between Port Angeles, Washington and Victoria, BC. The city of Victoria is the capital of British Columbia, and the ferry terminal is right in front of the legislature building. Back to the ship. The MV Coho is a ro-ro, which stands for roll-on, roll-off ferry. It has a single car deck, with that single deck having high enough ceilings for your over-height vehicles. It has a vehicle capacity of 110 and 1,000 passengers. The Coho was launched May 25th, 1959, has a gross registered tonnage of 5,366, and length is 341.5 feet with a beam of 72 feet and a draft of 12.6 feet. The ship is powered by 2 diesel engines with 2 propellers and 2 rudders, those propellers being of stainless steel of a 8-foot diameter. The ship's original engines when launched in 1959 were rated at 2,080 horsepower each. However, the ship was refitted in 2004, replaced with 2 EMD engines rated at 2,550 horsepower each. Some additional interesting facts about the Coho is that the first 2 of BC Ferry's ships were based off the design of the Coho. The Coho is the only ship operated by the Blackball Ferry Line and is out of service for around a month each year while it goes into its maintenance and dry docking scheduled time. The Coho is an American flagged ship with Seattle listed as its port. As for the winter season, where on the west coast of Canada, storms and rough weather is not uncommon to find, the Blackball Ferry Line operating the Coho provides a quite reliable service. That's in contrast to BC Ferries, where you can find winter cancellations due to adverse weather quite frequently. Now, I can only speculate on why this may be, why the Coho operates in much worse weather than you would find BC Ferries operating in. I firstly have to disagree with the common idea that the BC Ferry ships aren't able to handle those weather conditions, being that many of the ships have either been built or gone through refits overseas, meaning the ships have had to complete transatlantic crossings. I think they would be quite capable of handling the weather conditions that can be found here on the west coast. Not to mention, many of those ships are quite a lot larger than the MV Coho. I think the issues more revolve around docking the ships due to some of the terminal locations and possibly different liability issues with the different ferry lines as for unstable conditions for people to safely move around the ship. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are in case anyone has some input to share there. Where today's video is going to be a little bit different is I'm not actually going to be going onto this ship, but instead showing it from the outside, where I'm going to watch this ship not only come into the Victoria port and dock, but also leave later on in the day, as well as I got some drone footage following the ship across the water. You'll also get to hear the ship's whistle, which I am quite fond of the whistle on this ship. So we're going to start off with some drone footage of the MV Coho leaving the port, and then we will get to the part where we'll actually watch close up the ship docking and leaving the port. Let's get started. So there it is. That is the little bit of drone footage I had of following the ferry. I could only follow the ferry with the drone for so long due to the ferry's location out over the water being significant distance from where I had to be to fly the drone, and of course with the battery being a concern, and I made it back with just enough battery to safely land, but it was certainly pushing it. I was down to the last few minutes. Either way, this is now the Coho, the ferry entering the harbor, so we will now watch the ferry navigate its way through the harbor and eventually dock at the ferry terminal. You can see today at this ferry terminal, the ship will be unloading and reloading from the starboard vehicle entry door. That is the door that's open on the side of the hull for the vehicles to travel in and out of the ship. This ship has 3 different vehicle loading and unloading doors. There's a port, a starboard, as well as a rear door on this ship. They just did the whistle once before I started the camera, so I missed it. But they should do 3 blasts of the whistle once they're ready to depart. there you have it. That is my video of the MV Coho. I know it was not quite as extensive as the videos that I did on some of the BC Ferry ships, where I actually went on them and toured around them. If I get the opportunity, which I may in the future, I would like to do the same on this ship. I haven't had a reason to go on this ship. I haven't needed to go on it for actual transportation reasons, so that's why I haven't yet, but maybe I will just make a trip out of it just to go on the ship just because, and to make a video. That could be something I do in the future, as this is a pretty old ship, and older ships are definitely more interesting to be on than new ones, in my opinion. As a ship that is 66 years old, I think this ship looks to be in pretty good condition from what I've seen, and they obviously are doing a pretty good job taking care of it considering its age, and it's still working with pretty good reliability. So that's going to be my video on the MV Coho. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to leave those down in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy my channel, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you are interested, I do have an Instagram account at Pickle700 for bonus content posted earlier than you'd see it on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching.